How do you do, chat? Welcome to the show. I noticed in the comment section that someone asked me to talk to Sargon because he keeps making videos about Britain having fallen, and I should tell him to stop. But Britain has indeed fallen. I can't tell him to stop because people like watching the content. And so if you want Sargon to stop, you just gotta make people stop watching the content, and then I guarantee to you, he's going to talk about something else. But yeah, no, like regarding Britain, there is only one solution. I already said what it is, which is to leave the country. I don't understand like this fetish. It's like, no, I must be there. I must suffer. I must endure. I must pay taxes to those that oppress me so that they have the finances to oppress me. No, like the reality is that stop funding the people that hate you applies to living under occupation, I guess. See, like here's the thing, like a medieval peasant had more brain than modern people. Like a medieval peasant, if the lord oppressed him, like he could go to another lord, and eventually like they had to stop people from doing that. Like they had laws tying peasants to the land because they would leave if you oppress them. And if they leave, then you don't have money, right? You can't oppress people if you don't have the resources to oppress them. And the Soviet Union did the same. Like, in the Soviet Union, people left. It's like, why am I staying here? Why am I allowing this abuse? And so they built the Berlin Wall, and they would shoot anyone that tried to leave the Soviet Union. But apparently modern day is like, nah, don't leave. Like, you need to stay. I have to say, is the right nationalist plantation, chat. This is how I call it, the right nationalist plantation. Like, the Democrats had their plantation, but now it's like, no, you need to stay. Stay in England. Pay your taxes. Be a good little bitch. You'll rise up when you rise up, but until then, keep funding the government. Keep supporting this. When Poland is literally 1 hour away, right? Like, I'm not telling that they should go to Zimbabwe, Africa, China. No, just go to Poland. Or go to France, just not Britain. It's called capital flight, okay? Like, leftist communists, they're horrified by this. Leftist academics are horrified by the concept of capital flight. They're telling you what's hurting them. Like, they're explicitly saying that the only thing that stands against their leftist utopia is capital flight. Just fucking do it. But your roots are here, your heritage. No, your roots are where your family is, okay? Whenever you take your little boy and your wife, that's where home is. Anyway, yeah, no, unironically, it's like you must embrace the slave mentality. Like, help me understand if I'm wrong, okay? The government in Britain doesn't like the British population. Like the whole thing with the two-tier care system, right? It's because, like, they are exploiting their own people. They're raising taxes. They're pushing for legislation that's minimizing their rights. And so the reason for a British person is to live to support the government that exploits them. Why would you stay there? Why? Oh, because I was born there. So what? And not to mention, okay, so if you're born in a city, in your neighborhood, and you go to another city, that's fine, right? If you're born in England and you travel to Scotland, that's fine. But if you're born in England and you travel to Poland, that's traitorous behavior. Like, what is it with this mentality? Can anyone explain to me? And right? Does it make any sense? Even Americans don't think like that. Like, if Americans are born in Chicago, or if they're born in San Francisco and they're like, okay, fuck this shit, I'm going to go to Pennsylvania, no one is going to freak out. No one is going to tell them, well, you can't do it. But, like, for some reason, if you do it in Europe, and you're like, okay, I don't like England anymore, I think the government is crazy and they're run by a bunch of lunatics, I'm going to go to Hungary. Like, I'm moving to Hungary, whatever, fuck this shit. Oh my god, you can't do that. You can't. Why? Why can't? He's like, and the favorite thing is like, well, you know, like, as a white person, where are you going to flee? He's actually going to a more white nation, right? Like Hungary objectively is more white than England if you're going to think about it that way, right? Like, if that's your priority. See, look, even Kate agrees with me. This is how I ended up moving from New York City to New Jersey. I was not going to pay New York City an additional city income tax on top of the New York State income tax, and federal tax, and New York City sales tax, and New York City property tax. By the way, like, this is literally why governments don't tax 90% of what we do. Like, think about it. It makes sense, right? If people actually start leaving, or people start consuming less, then if the government raise tax after a certain amount, they actually make less money. It's called diminishing returns. Like, it shouldn't make sense. It's paradoxical, but it's true, right? Like, let's say you have 20% income tax, and you decide to make it 25. In theory, you should make like 5% more money. In reality, you may not, because like if people leave, then you're actually losing the taxes, right? So like if people leave, if they consume less, if blah, blah, blah. Now, if everyone was to stay, and the mentality is like, no, stay there, you little pay pig, and then taxes could go all the way up to 60%. V is correct. Thank you, Sergeant Garing. The left can stay in the country with all their doctors and engineers they imported. The funny thing about Sargon is that his employees actually agree with me, not necessarily specifically in verbal format, but they agree with me in the way they behave. Like, you have Connor, which is traveling around the world. I think he actually moved to Poland. No, sorry, not Connor. Column, right. And then you have, like, the other guy that likes to moral fag a lot. Like, every single time he opens his mouth, he talks about morality, and he poisons Sargon with his Karen behavior. But he moved to the United States to live with the Karens in the wild. And now he's enjoying life, and he's not being persecuted. Like, those are only two people that worked at the Lotus Eaters that I know. But I'm pretty sure there's more that also decided, yeah, there's no reason to stay in this country. Like getting a divorce and leaving the cheating wife with the house. But it's not like, no, it's not like getting a divorce, actually. It's more like you're on a farm, right? And you're working for the noble. And your argument is, well, yeah, like this noble is abusing me, I'm being exploited, but I don't want to go to the other noble because then I leave the farm with this noble. It's like, okay, I mean, I guess. But you can literally sell the house, right? Like, that is an option. You can sell the house and take the body with you. You don't have to leave anything behind. Who the heck lives to go to California? People that care more about money than anything else. Young people that want to fuck. People that actually are leftists and enjoy being with other leftists. See, this is another problem. Like, a lot of individuals assume that because we have our principles and we have our way of life and we enjoy certain things, that everyone else must enjoy the same things and must like the same things we like. When in reality, no. In reality, some people actually enjoy the stuff that we hate. But Sargon, the government needs your taxes, says the goblin. Well, and ironically, it does, right? Like, think about what the British government is doing. Like, they want CCTV footage. They want Ofcom to be able to sue American companies. They want AI to track everything you do. That's not cheap. That's extremely expensive. And so in order for them to operate that level of state control, they need finances. Disco Wonder, wow, thank you for the $20. People are always scrutinizing when it comes to how everyone else acts. If I was unable to work and make my game in my current state of Indiana, I would be out of the state tomorrow. Yeah, no, again, this mentality that where you're born is where you have to die. Like, I'm sorry, I'm not that tribal. Like, if some people want that for themselves, right? Like, if they genuinely want to believe that, that's fine. But, like, stop forcing other people to believe it. It's ridiculous. There's no reason for people to think this way. No, like, your priority is not with your nation state, especially if your nation state hates you. Your priority is with your family. Like, whatever is good for the children. And notice how much the internet hates PewDiePie. Like, did you notice that? Like, almost everyone hates PewDiePie. People on the left hate him because he's rich, because he made Nazi jokes. They absolutely despise him. And people on the right hate him because he's a race traitor and he went to Japan and he abandoned his country. Now, here's the question. Would you like to be PewDiePie or not? Like, if you had the opportunity, you know, like tomorrow you're in his shoes. The man is married, has a wife, lives in a country he likes, and people are screaming at his door. Like, from his point of view, do you think he cares? No. Would your son to end up like PewDiePie? Here's another question, right? Like, would you want your son to end up in the same situation where he's like, okay, I'm going to go to the country that I like, I'm going to be married, I'm going to have kids, fuck everyone else. I personally would be happy if my son does that. And so, notice that if you actually listen to the moral busybodies, you end up with the worst life. Like, let's be honest. Do you guys think that it would have been better for PewDiePie, like his life would have been better if he stayed in England? Like, let's be honest, right? If you're PewDiePie's father, right, he's your son now, and you want what's best for him, would you want him to remain in England, or are you happy that he's having a life in Japan? Yeah, he is absolutely living the life. Race trader, isn't Marzia Italian? No, he's a race trader because he didn't decide to stay in England, which is interesting because like he initially was in Sweden, if I'm not mistaken, and so he moved to England, and that's fine apparently. But then he moved to Japan, and people actually hate him and say like he betrayed the white race and other type of shit. And I'm like, well, when did he sign a pledge of loyalty for, you know, like, it's so fucking stupid. I don't think, like, his father thinks this way, right? And I think, like, if you're talking about racial and ancestry, like, what his father thinks is probably more important. Yeah, he was Swedish. He moved to England, and this is why his channel blew up, because the algorithm back then would only promote you in your local area. And so when he moved to Sweden and traveled, when he moved from Sweden to England, he had both the Swedish and the English algorithm promoting him. And that's what made him popular. And so he stood in England for quite a while and then got married to an Italian chick and moved to Japan. And is now learning how to draw anime. He's got kids. He's having a happy life, and everyone is seething. Every time he posts, like, people are seething in his comment section. And it's like, yeah, these are the people that want to bring you down. Like, these are worse than the enemy. You know, I'm starting to agree with Malcolm X. At least a leftist is like a wolf. You kind of know that he wants what's bad for you. But these people that are quote-unquote helping, they're like foxes. And a fox likes to smile as it approaches you. Anyway, his family will always be second class. Yeah, but it's better than being fourth class in England. You know, like if I'm in England and I visited there in London, and I know that my kids are going to experience abject poverty because the standard of living keeps going down. I know that my kids are going to be grown in a fascist state. I know that the streets aren't safe, and if anything bad happens to them, no one will give a shit. I know that there's a culture that's against men, absolutely hates men. And so, you know what? I would rather be second class in Japan. That's fine. That's fine. You know, like I can't aim for utopia. These are the cards that have been given to me. I will never have the promised land. But I will be second class in Japan. That's okay. Then to live in London, I would better live in Japan. Anyway. Yeah, better than being exploited. That's another thing, you know? Like, at least Japan, when they take your taxpayer money, they're not doing it in order to survey on your kid, in order to tell you that you're not allowed to drive a car, in order to push the environmentalist nonsense. No. And not to mention, you know, like this whole thing with being second class in Japan, depends where you moved. Like, it depends where you are in Japan. And by the way, he's PewDiePie. Like, that's another thing in his plus. Like, he's not just the gaijin. Like, the Japanese actually know who he is. And so, like, his kids are going to be like, oh, you're from the PewDiePie family? Oh, that's fucking cool. No, I think he will be fine. I think, like, I am more worried for Sargon's future than I am for PewDiePie's future. Let's put it like this. At least in Japan, you know the Japanese don't like you. You don't have to guess. I mean, again, it depends, right? Like, there are individuals in every community, and in the case of PewDiePie, he has enough money to make sure that his kid goes to a school where he doesn't experience bullying. The name actually carries over, like, they know he's the PewDiePie's kid. And so it's not like a random average chance roll of the dice. Like, he's already having his deck stacked in his favor for his family, so... heard rent is low in rural area. It is. Anywho, let's talk a little bit about what we plan to discuss. So, I noticed that the culture regarding men is changing, and the reason I'm saying this is because there was a what people like to call the Uber delivery driver from hell. So let me see if I can find this. Uber delivery driver sexual assault. The assault of the sexiness. Okay. Here's an interesting thing, right? So I want you to understand that the situation is actually more complex than it's being sold. The way that it's presented to the public is that this lady, which apparently is a live streamer and Uber Eats delivery driver, she got into a man's home, walked all the way up in his bathroom, found him taking a shit, and then put that up on TikTok and tried to ruin his life. Okay, that video doesn't exist. I actually looked for it. I couldn't find it. People are making it up. I don't know why people are making it up. Whether it's because like people like to believe other people. You know, like if I say some false information and you guys believe it because it comes from me, and then you say it to someone else and that person says it to someone else. Maybe that's what happened here. But there's also the possibility that the video is AI. And so I actually looked to see what happened. She arrived at the guy's house, placed the deliveries next to the door, and the door was open. And as she lifted the head, you can see like the guy passed out on the couch with his cock and balls out. And so she said, oh, that's vile. Hold on. Let me just get my phone. Let me just get my phone. Let me get my TikTok. Let me log in. All right, let me film that. That is disgusting. And then she left, right? Now, the thing is, apparently she got in legal trouble and she was fired from Uber Eats. Because what she did is not entirely legal. It's the equivalent, like from a legal point of view, is like me going to her house, to her window, and be like, okay, let me get my TikTok, let me log in, YouTube, okay, let's videotape what she's doing in her house, right? So, that's not okay. The thing is, like, was the man actually trying to show her his cock and balls? My take is that it's unknown. Like, we generally don't know what he wanted to do. Why am I saying this? Well, think about it. There is a possibility that, indeed, you know, he arranged it in such a manner, set her up in order for her to see his cock and balls because he's an exhibitionist, right? Like, this is a mental illness. So maybe he was mentally ill. And he's like the Walter White of exhibitionism. Like, he planned it. And he was like, okay, I'm going to pretend that I'm drunk. I'm going to leave the door open. And when she comes, she gets to see me. And she can't say anything about it because I have plausible deniability. It is a possibility, right? Like, there are some people out there that are like that. The other possibility is that he didn't want to plan it. Maybe he was a guy that came from a party, was absolutely drunk, wasted, ordered food, because like usually when people are drunk, they also get hungry, and then passed out. And so both of them are plausible. And then like she comes in from her car, right, goes to his house, and sees that the man is naked. And so who's to blame? I think she is to blame for uploading it on social media. Like, if you genuinely think that the crime has occurred, right? Like, if you're generally upset, you're a moral crusader, you don't like exhibitionists, and you're like, okay, I'm going to call the police because this is unacceptable. You do that outside of the court of public opinion. You do that outside of the internet. But if you're on the internet and you're doing it and you're uploading it, well, then you get the court of public opinion. And now she's got like 33.9 million views. People are tormenting her. they're attacking her because like they're accusing her of trying to ruin this man's life. They're making stories about her that she went all the way into his bathroom, which she didn't. And all of this could have been avoided if she didn't try to do it for likes, clicks, and retweets. Now, if this would have happened in 2018, people would have automatically believed her. They would have doxed the man. They would have found out where he works. They would have tried to get him fired. They would have raised money to get lawyers to try and persecute him. Right? But like culture has changed. And culture has changed not because men have gotten misogynistic, it's because women abused the power that was given to them. And it culminated in the Me Too era with the persecution of Johnny Depp. Like a lot of people, his wife accused him of shit with no evidence. He gets his career ruined. And then when it turns out that, hey, look, his wife was actually a piece of shit, literally. And she basically is on a recording saying, no one is going to believe you, Johnny. I beat you up. I beat you up, Johnny. Who's going to believe you? Who's going to believe you? And what ends up happening is that people don't actually go to Johnny and say, hey, you know, like, I was wrong. I'm part of the people that attacked you. Look, I don't like seeing violence against women. It triggers me, and I guess I was wrong. I should have stood by you, blah, 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 blah. Not a single person did that, right? And so what this shows is that people weren't actually interested in fighting against sexual assault or promoting women's rights. What people were interested in is getting the dopamine hit from trying to ruin someone else's life. And so it's like, okay, well, I guess, number one, people generally don't care, right? So, like, when people were screaming, oh my goodness, like, misogyny, no one cared. Because it's like, yeah, you don't care about misogyny either. But the second one is that they notice how women can be, right? No one is going to believe you, Johnny. No one. It's like, all right. So when people were asking, because like feminists were the ones coming up with this question, why would a woman lie? I don't know. Ask Amber Heard. Let's figure out why would she lie. Why would she? Because she's a woman. She was involved in a high-profile case, and I'm also curious, like, why would she lie? Laws not changing. Box wine and cat food stonks. Why, thank you, Salon. People are always scrutinizing when it comes to how everyone else acts, says this wonder. If I was unable to work and make my... Oh, I already read your super chat. But yeah. No, I think like this is unironically a situation where both people, had they communicated, none of this would have happened. But she was a Karen. She wanted to upload it on social media. He was probably drunk. You know what I would have done, though? Because I thought, like, what would I would have done if I was in that situation? I think, like, the correct and humane thing to do, you see the guy drunk and naked, right? Just reach out and close the door. Like, literally, that's the most humane thing, right? Because I would assume, first of all, like, I like to assume the goodness in people and give the benefit of the doubt before chimping out. And so it's like, okay, well, maybe he passed out on the couch. His door is open. Everyone is going to see him. He can have, like, critters and pests going into his house. You know, like, if you actually live in a house and you leave the door open, you can have mice coming in and shit. And so it's like, okay, just close the door and that's that. You know, just don't make a fuss out of it. Don't put the guy on the internet. Right? Like, isn't that what you would expect someone to do if you were in that situation? If I'm sleeping on the couch and this woman enters my home... No, she didn't enter the home, right? Like, that's the thing. She didn't enter the guy's house. The way the door was positioned was that if you actually left the food next to the door as instructed, the moment you raise your head, you see the guy on the couch. Like, his couch was literally placed in front of the door, if that makes any sense, right? Like she didn't actually enter his home. So the story is a little bit overblown. Like the story is saying that she went to his bathroom. She didn't. Like, she actually did what she was requested by him to do, which is to deliver food. But the guy left the door open, and as you looked through the door, you could just see him cock and balls resting on the couch. And so I can understand why she's upset, right? Because, like, I wouldn't want my daughter to see that. Like, if my daughter does Uber Eats, I wouldn't want my daughter to see, like, a man with cock and balls, right? And I can also understand his point of view. Like, if he was genuinely drunk and wasted and didn't think about this at all, like, didn't cross his mind, and maybe he just passed out because he passed out. Like, he wanted to stay sober until the food arrives, but he ended up passing out, right? So it's not his fault entirely if he didn't do it on purpose, and it's not her fault entirely because, like, you wouldn't want your daughter to see naked men. And so, like, it's just a situation where both parties are wrong. Why involve the internet, though? Like, why put it online? Why put it on social media? Ring camera showed she opened the door. I keep hearing this, but I don't see the video. Like I keep hearing people saying that Ring camera showed she opened the door. But, like, where is the video with that? People keep claiming it, making that statement. And I asked all day, is there a video where she opened the door? I couldn't find it. Now, I did find text, and I found, like, people say, well, okay, like, it's claimed and the blah, blah, blah. Where's the footage? Like, everyone can show me something on the internet, right? Yeah. Again, I keep hearing, like, she opened the door. Where's the video? Give it to me on DMs. I'll actually look. If she opened the door, fine. You're in the right. People show me it's in the police report, but the police report that circulates is a screenshot. Like, it's not an actual website. It's something that can be faked. Like, I want to see the actual, link to the government website with the police report there. I don't want to see, like, a picture on Twitter in the age of AI where everything can be manipulated. She was literally told. Again, like, I know the claims. I want to see the evidence. Listen, chat, I'm with you. Like, if what you're saying is true, I'm with you. But I want to see the evidence. Like, I'm not going to make a judgment in the era of AI and in the era where causing internet outrage gives you likes and clicks. I don't want to see a screenshot of a police evidence. I don't want to hear, this is the police guy that said, no. I want the government website where you can click and it takes you to that report and you can see it. Because I've been asking for it the entire day and no one has provided it to me. Right? Like, I'm not saying you're wrong. What I am saying is that it's possible she's being set up. And there is a lot of reason for people to set up a Karen. Yeah, see, like on the delivery girl, she opened the door. Show me. People say it's on the Ring footage. Where is it? It's on the police report. Show me the government website. Like, I'm not asking for things that can't be provided, right? But, like, a picture on the internet from an anonymous guy is not evidence enough for me. I guess someone better deliver the actual video. You should. I've been asking for it. Like, I have a community of 4,000 people on Discord. I used AI. I used ChatGPT and Grok. And I was like, can you find me the actual source for this? The only thing that exists, and I'll show you, okay? Like, this is what we can have, is a screenshot of an alleged police report. But if you look at the screenshot, okay, here it is. So this is what I could find, chat. DoorDash driver who was fired for sharing a video of a customer and falsely claiming she was sexually assaulted has been charged and arrested with the charges, blah, blah, blah. Instead of leaving the customer meal at the door as instructed, entered his home, found him asleep on the couch with his pants down and recorded after posting all the video over the internet. Right? So, like, it says it entered his home. She didn't. I see people claiming it, and then they're showing you, like, a little bit of a screenshot. But, like, okay, I can see the claim, I can see the accusation, but where is she actually entering the door? Where's the video? Where's the footage? How do you know? How does this person know? Like, where is he getting his information from? And I think, like, he's getting his information from, like, someone else that made the claim. No one has seen the footage. This is what I'm saying. And then you have like, she was delivering food. The man who ordered the food was passed out and undressed. Left specific instructions to leave the food at the door and not enter. She entered. Yeah, she didn't enter. Like, I'm not seeing her entering. I wish I can show you the footage because it's, well, fuck, I think I can actually show you the footage if I find the censored version of it. Oh, okay, I can actually show you something. Hold on. Chat, I'll show you. So, let me see if I can get an angle that's YouTube friendly, basically, because... Alright. It's kind of difficult to catch the right angle. Because I can't show cock and balls on YouTube, so... Okay, I got the angle. Alright. So, basically, and I generally don't think, like, she opened it. But she could have, okay, fine. I just want to see the evidence if she did. This is how it looks like, right? Like, she came in, this is the door, it's open. And literally where my mouse is, like where you see my mouse pointer, right? This is where the guy that's naked is sleeping on a couch. So, like, basically, like, she's walking in, putting the food here, and she can see what's in the house. Now, what I would have done is just close the door. Again, people are saying she entered the house. I have seen no such video. People are saying she opened the door. I have seen no such video. People say there is a police report. I haven't seen the government website where the report is. We live in the age of the AI. I'm sorry, I'm going to apply the same standard to you if you ever get into trouble, okay? So if you ever get canceled by a mob and people are telling me like, V, look what happened, literally the same standard of doubt I will apply to you. Like, until I actually see evidence, until I'm actually being persuaded with facts, I'm not believing it. Okay, check Discord. Let's see. Again, I'm willing to admit, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Yeah, so like, again, this is the police report that I saw circulating. Where's the government website? This is a screenshot. Now, here's my question. Why would she upload it? She hasn't uploaded it. Like, who's uploading this police report? And if someone can have access to the police report, why aren't they uploading the website? Like, I'm not convinced by this. I can write this. I can write this about anyone. I mean, it sounds good, right? It adds a lot of clicks. Like, if I post something like this on the internet, I guarantee to you, if I'm the first, I'm probably going to get like 6 million or 7 million hits. And I make money, especially if it's on X or on YouTube or whatever. And so, no, like, this to me is not evidence. I mean, okay, if she actually gets a fine for this, like, it should be public record, and people should be able to find it. Well, that's the thing, you know, like opening the door. Some people say she did, she didn't. Some people say she trespassed. If she's a Uber driver that was actually required to make a food delivery and she didn't enter the house, it's not trespass. Yeah, I'm repeating myself, sorry, because I'm getting the accusations over and over. So, it is what it is. I'll stop. Americas, the Second Amendment is painted in the wall. Fucking hell. According to the AI, you have to request discovery to get the police report. Okay, so I guess like that solidifies my case. Well, again, as a streamer, when I see something like this, I wonder who could have uploaded it, right? She couldn't have uploaded. Like, there's no reason for her to upload her own police report that makes her bad. And so, the police could have uploaded it, but why would they do that? So, no, I'm sorry. No, that is not sufficient for me. I need more evidence. Did fella sleep halfway his dailies in Nikkei, pulling his Hogan to Liberalio, following the path of Philip Burdell? See, that's something that I can get behind. She was playing the end game in Diablo, yes. She was, the great evil. The charges published are for videoing him. Yeah, no, like, that's actually true. Like, you're not supposed to video people in their homes. Like, she didn't trespass, but I can see why she did still being a crime. And as I mentioned at the beginning, it's literally like if I was to go to her bedroom and start filming and videotaping what's inside her house. Not cool, bro. Not cool. The fact that she even thought about putting it on the internet is the issue. And another thing that actually, you know what I find interesting? If I was to see a naked person outside, I would have never uploaded it on social media because that's a community guideline violation. Like, if you upload a penis on social media for any reason, your account gets terminated. And so, like, she sees that and uploads it because she thinks the laws don't apply to her. But especially on TikTok, like, they're very specific. Well, I mean, they used to be Chinese. Is it now because they're Jewish owned? Like, TikTok is owned by the Jews, and so now you can post penises? Because up until now, you couldn't. Like, the Chinese would have banned you for any reason. And she goes like, oh, that's a naked man. That goes up on my timeline. No, it's not Twitch. And even Twitch doesn't allow it. No, like, a lot of Western producers are terrified of pornography right now. So, wonder if they tested his blood alcohol level? Probably not. Jesus. Why would they? The man was in his house. And another thing, I don't think, like, a case can be shot so fast. Right? Because, like what? She files the complaint 2 days ago, and all of a sudden, like, the case is closed. The guy just didn't want to make an appeal. Yeah, she's posting it without censorship. Yes, and she is guilty of exposing to the people. Yeah, absolutely. And it's like the other American thing, right? Like, oh my goodness, this is so ugly. This is so disgusting. This is so disturbing. Let me show it to the world. Did you notice that? Like, that's part of our culture now. They're like, oh, this is so vile. This is, how can anyone do it? Let me upload it to my 4 million subscribers. I don't know if it's revenge porn. It depends on, like, which state you are and what laws they have. But I think, like, probably not. Probably not revenge porn. Because there's no sexual act there. It's just like the guy is passed out drunk, right? Anyway, let's move on. This guy got arrested, chat. Influencer Jack Doherty charged with drug possession. He gets Jolly Somali'd. Do you know who this guy is, chat? He's a very popular streamer. Became really popular during COVID. He would walk around in a mall and literally go like do. And he would bump into people. He would make eye contact with people and insult them. He wore a shirt with obscene language, and when a father criticized him for it, he said, what's the problem? Your kids can't read anyway. And he is like a really small dude. Like, he is the type of guy that even, like, I'm pretty sure everyone in the chat, if they look at him, they're like, I can take this guy. And so when you're the type of guy that can be taken by everyone, the last thing you want to do is to be a cheeky little shit to people. But this guy, right, Mr. Doherty, he had an ace up his sleeve. He had rich parents. And so with his rich parents, he hired a very strong and muscular bodyguard. And so he would be like, and just bump into you on the mall. And if you tried, like, dude, what the fuck? Immediately you have, like, the bodyguard between you and him. It's like, what you gonna do? What you gonna do? You think you're going to do something? And so people hated him. And they hated him so much that they subscribed and gave him super chats. He had over like 25 million. I think, yeah, 25 million subscribers. He managed to get involved into a lot of other stuff. Crashed a car for texting while driving. And also, and this one is even more fascinating, got involved into well, he got accused of crypto scams. Never fact checked it, but like, okay. Now he got arrested, and the way he got arrested is the most retarded thing ever. He he goes on the street, and a cop tells him to stop being on the street, and he basically disrespects the cop. He goes at the cop. The equivalent, not actually, but like he was bad mouthing the cop. So they start arresting him. You know, like face against the vehicle, spread them, blah blah blah. He notices that the cops are serious. They're not fucking around. Keeps bad mouthing them. Really brilliant idea. And they find that he had drugs on him. Like they found that he had ecstasy, he had marijuana, he had like a lot of shit. So like my question is like, was he high? I mean, I guess that's a possibility, right? Like he was mentally impaired. Because otherwise I don't understand how you can be that retarded. Like if you're carrying drugs on you and a cop tells you to get off the street, the only two words that should be out of your mouth is yes and massa. Like yes, massa. You know, like you don't need to say anything else. Like, okay, I got drugs on me. I'm not supposed to have them. There's a police officer tells me to do something. I will fucking do it. I don't want him to frisk me. But no, he ended up getting frisked. They found out that he's got drugs. And now he's charged with drug possession and, get this, resisting arrest. They really want him. I think they know who he is. I think it's a possibility that the police officer wants to Johnny Somali him. Because they're very painfully aware of who this cheeky little shit is. And people are also really disgusted with the whole prank streamer drama. It's like, oh, it's a prank, bro. It's like, why are you pranking me? Are you my friend? Do I know you? No, we're strangers. Like, do you think it's appropriate to prank a stranger? Like, would it be appropriate if I punched you in the face? No, right? So, like, why? And basically, the prank videos, they're kind of like, oh, well, it's antisocial behavior, but it's funny because super chats. It's like, no, just because you're monetizing your antisocial behavior doesn't mean that I find it funny or hilarious. No, like, most people are going to want him to rot in prison now. They want him to suffer. Suffer, Jack. Suffer. I mean, it does seem to be the case. It does seem to be the case that a lot of people are not realizing that doing live streaming eventually gets you arrested. And this is my theory of the internet. It still holds after so many years after I said it. Everyone that does live streaming makes a lot of money. They make a lot of content. It also has like this negative feedback loop where they're doing antisocial behavior and then they become antisocial people and then they get arrested. It happened with Ice Poseidon. It happened with Johnny Somali. It happened with Mizu in the UK. It happened with Baked Alaska. It happened with that chick Caroline. It's now happening to Jack Doherty. Like literally every single live streamer, with no exception, ends up like this. Andy Worski got into trouble. Asian Andy got into trouble. Literally everyone. I don't know why it is. I mean, there's part of the fact that a lot of people do certain things that are criminal activities, but most people just pass them over. For example, you know, jaywalking or pirating a video or whatever. You know, like these are criminal activities that some people do. And they consider them to not be serious or they consider them to like whatever. But when you put them on the internet and you upload them on the internet and you also have detractors, like people are going to call the cops on you. But it's also like, as I mentioned, right? Like if you are funded, if you are paid to perform antisocial behavior, like the more antisocial you are, the more you are paid. It feels like being antisocial is the correct thing. It feels like society wants you to be antisocial and they reward you for it. And I'm pretty sure like the chat also gives him like positive incentives. And so even if like you begin the live streams by just doing a prank and by playing, after 5 years you generally think like, no, this is how people should act. I'm the emperor of the world. I own the streets. I'm going to turn in a cop while carrying drugs. Is he going to jail? Is he? I don't know the law in Florida, but what I do know is that Nick Riquieta was also in a position where he had drugs, he had kids in the house, he had weapons in the house where kids could access them, and he didn't go to jail. And so is this guy going to jail? I mean, if it's his first offense, and it depends on how much of it he was carrying, and if he was using it for consumption rather than supplying, he may end up like Riquieta, right? Like he may actually get time out with probation. And to take into account the fact that he's very wealthy, right? Like he's very rich. So obviously he's going to have the best lawyers. And even more so, he's going to have the ability to, well, I mean, in America, you don't really bribe a judge. But the people that are in the know, if they find out like a lawyer that works for a firm which supported the judge financially, you know, donated for their campaigns and stuff, and you hire a lawyer from that firm, that's the advanced Eastern European way of doing corruption. He didn't go to jail. He didn't go to prison. Yeah, but like he's still being investigated. Like he has a court date. So sure, you know, like he didn't go to jail now, but he may actually end up in prison. It depends on the judge, right? And this is also going to be a high-profile case, I assume. Guns where kids could access them. Sounds weird to me. I had my own guns growing up. Grandpa taught me to shoot. But yeah, I mean, look, I get it. Like back in the day, there was like a newspaper article in black and white, and there was like this report that a killer is on the loose, and you saw like a teacher with a gun sitting next to a student with a gun, because like all students brought their guns and shit. But you gotta take into account the way the law is structured, right? Like if the law says you're not supposed to allow kids to have access to guns, and you do allow kids to have access to guns while committing a crime, then what can you do? You know, like the police isn't going to say, well, yeah, back in my day. They're going to say, well, no, the law states that you're not allowed. And to be honest, though, I don't think like your grandpa was doing cocaine, right? In the case of Riquieta, the problem was like the guns were in the reach of kids, and their parents were high on cocaine. And so it's like a completely different situation, I would say. Kids always do stupid shit to impress an audience, but they never had social media and an audience of thousands. Yeah, correct. I think you're right. Like when I was young, and by the way, when you say kids, I'm not saying like the legal definition. Even when I was like 20, 22, and I was, you know, with the boys, like there was a lot of stuff of trying to impress others and trying to stand out. But like you never had millions of people watching you on social media, donating super chats and egging you on. I mean, obviously what that does to a person's psyche is pretty fucking bad. Also, one of the children tested positive for cocaine in her system. I don't know what happened to that. I think like they would have said that it got in their hair or something. It's kind of weird if it's the case. Like if they actually tested positive and the Knicks managed to get suspension. That's wild. Yeah, it was a daughter. I remember, like, I haven't followed the whole case, but I think it was like a 9-year-old or a 7-year-old or something. Was one of the daughters. And, yeah, she tested positive for la cocaína. The way I understand that the cocaine test works, like, I've never done it. In my country, we don't have, like, a cocaine problem. We're too poor to buy cocaine, so. But the way I understand this done is using the hair, right? So, like, you take a string of hair and you examine it. And so, if basically she had it by someone, you know, like having cocaine on their hand and then like petting her hair or something, I think like that's the reasonable excuse that may have gotten him off the hook. It doesn't matter if you believe it or not. What matters is if it's beyond any shadow of a doubt, right? Like that's the burden of proof that the jury goes by. So if the jury is told it's like, yeah, okay, she had cocaine when we examined the hair, but you know she's a 9-year-old and the parents were doing cocaine, and so like maybe they had it on their hand, and they basically like touched her hair or you know pet her head or whatever, and that's how she got it, and that is like reasonable enough to have like a not guilty plea for that. Is that why Gimli received 3 standards of Galadriel's hair? Shit, now you ruined the Lord of the Rings to me. Now, fuck. Yeah, I guess. Where the pets hide to? I don't think they checked them. Yeah, no, like the whole thing is, I'm pretty sure they didn't charge him for that, because if they would have, the punishment would have been much more severe. Giving cocaine to a 9-year-old is not like you're getting the high and addicted, but it's also a lot of damage to the organs. And so him not getting a harsher sentence tells me that the story either was exaggerated or he managed to weasel himself out of it. Anyway, chat, I'm going to thank you for the super chats, and thank you for watching the stream, and I'm going to see you all tomorrow. Ah, and my phone battery died just in time. Anyway, take care.